I want to speak directly to physical therapy practice owners, clinic directors, clinicians, but also educators and anyone who cares about the future of this profession. Because what is happening right now is not just a staffing issue. It is not just an immigration issue. It is not just a reimbursement issue. It is a survival issue for physical therapy private practice. And I do not want to use that word lightly. But when a private practice cannot hire qualified physical therapists, that practice cannot grow. When it cannot grow, it cannot compete. When it cannot compete, then patients lose access. Communities lose providers, and little by little, the independent practice model disappears. That is not theoretical. That is happening. Let's begin with the obvious problem. Physical therapy private practices are struggling to acquire new talent. This is not a new thing. We know that. Many owners are posting jobs and getting very few qualified applicants. Some are offering higher salaries, sign on bonuses, flexible schedules, mentorship programs, productivity incentives, and still the pipeline is not enough. And why is that? Because the numbers simply do not work. We are not producing enough physical therapists to meet demand. At the same time, many PTs are leaving clinical practice because of burnout, student debt, declining reimbursement, productivity pressure, administrative burdens, and lack of professional growth. So every year, the profession runs into a deficit. More demand, not enough supply, and an increasing number of clinicians saying, I cannot do this anymore. That creates a very dangerous equation. And for the private practice owner, this is not academic. It shows up Monday morning when you have patients waiting, referrals coming in, schedules full, and no physical therapists available to hire. Now, let's add the second part of the problem. Hospitals and large healthcare systems are often reimbursed far more than independent practice, especially private practices, for the same or exactly the same outpatient services. In many markets, hospital outpatient departments can receive dramatically higher payments than physical therapy offices or physician offices. Sometimes the difference is 2 times, 3 times, even 4 times greater, depending on the payer, the contract, the state, and the service. So, what does that mean? It means that the hospital can afford to pay more. The hospital can offer higher salary. The hospital can offer better benefits, offer tuition assistance, name recognition. The hospital can absorb inefficiencies that would destroy a small business. And the private practice owner is expected to compete against that. Well, how? How does a private PT clinic getting paid less for the same or similar service compete with a hospital system that gets paid far more and can use that financial advantage to capture the labor market? This is not a fair fight. And when people ask, why are private practices selling? Why is private equity entering the physical therapy market? Why are small practices disappearing? Well, this is one of the reasons. The economics are being stacked against independence. Historically, one of the ways physical therapy managed this talent deficit was through immigration. Qualified physical therapists came to the United States from countries such as India, the Philippines, the Middle East, and other parts of the world. I know that I lived it. I hired many of them, many international therapists. Many of these clinicians are absolutely excellent. They were motivated, educated. They wanted opportunity. They filled real gaps in patient care. And private practices, especially in the larger metropolitan areas, relied on this pathway. Not because they wanted cheap labor, not that at all, not because they wanted to replace American physical therapists, but because they could not find enough qualified physical therapists domestically. This is an important distinction. When there is a true workforce shortage, immigration is not a luxury, it is part of the solution. But now, that pathway has become dramatically more difficult. Why? Well, the new H-1B policy has created a massive financial barrier. For certain new H-1B petitions involving workers outside the United States, employers may be required to pay $100,000 fee to the government. Let me say that. $100,000 fee. Before the clinician even starts treating patient, before the practice generates revenue from that hire, before the practice knows whether that person will stay long term, you have to pay that $100,000. Now, ask yourself, how many small or mid-sized physical therapy practices can afford that? Very few. But how about a large hospital system? They may be able to absorb it. A large corporation may be able to absorb it. A national organization may look at that as a recruitment cost. But a private practice owner, that fee can be the difference between hiring and not hiring, between expansion and stagnation, between keeping a clinic open and closing the doors. And when a policy creates a barrier that large organizations can absorb, but small individual independent businesses cannot, the result is predictable. The large get larger. The small get weaker. The independent practice gets squeezed. This is why I say this is not just immigration policy. This is an economic policy that directly affects the survival of private practice.